then you heard about some amazing SRT products that are coming in 2027. The Demon is going to make its return, and a bunch of other SRT named products like the Banshee, and they talked about all the different names that they could be bringing back. One of those names that has been battered around for a long time has been the SRT Banshee. I mean, not the SRT, the SRT Ghoul.
The Ghoul, the Banshee, and the Cuda. Could those three names be coming in 2027? Well, let's have a conversation about that, because there are some names I fully believe is coming and some names I fully believe is not coming. And I'm going to give you some bonus names of some cars that I heard that Dodge might come with in the near future. And we're going to talk about that right now. Okay, I'm over 50. Let's see how many friends I got.
A lot of boring math later.
Okay, I'm over 51,000 friends, and the 54% of you guys who watch these videos but haven't hit the subscribe button yet. Let's get right into these names that TK's Garage said in this video, and let's go and do them one by one. And then down in the description, you can see a little chapters and stuff where you can go skip to whichever name that you're looking at and whichever one you're most interested in. So the first one I'm going to start off with is the actual Ghoul. Now, the SRT Ghoul, I mean, it may sound cool, but I remember the SRT Ghoul being an April Fool's joke that I think Car Buzz started a few years ago, where they were saying they're supposed to have like a 1,000 horsepower charger with like an Allison transmission and stuff, and they had like a crazy looking Ghoul logo, which is actually one of the logos that I believe it was on like a chart that Dodge shared, to where it was one of the initial designs of them trying to come up with the logo of the 2018 Demon and stuff. So they basically just ran with that and made a pretty viral April Fool's joke. So I don't believe that particular name for that car is going to be actually be used by Dodge. So that's going to be one name that I don't think that's actually going to happen. So I like I said, I don't want to bet against TK's Garage, because when TK says something, especially when he says these particular sources told him that, hey, this and this is going to happen and stuff, I typically learned my lesson to never bet against them, because usually within a year or two, that thing that he says is going to happen usually happens. So this is not me betting against TK, because I don't want to be that person that gets something veiny in the mail, circular and veiny and stuff, that says, I told you so and eat this, love TK's Garage, in the mailbox. So I'm just saying, I don't fully believe that the Ghoul's going to be an actual thing, but hey, if TK says it's going to happen, maybe it comes, maybe it doesn't come, but I'm just saying that's the first thing. Hold on.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, so let's do number 2 on the list, the SRT Banshee. Now, if you guys recall, a few weeks ago, I did a video where I told you guys everything that I knew up to this point about the SRT Banshee. Now, that particular vehicle is 100% coming. It's coming regardless if we like it or not. And I say whether we like it or not is because it's going to be based off the Charter Daytona, and it's going to be the updated version of it. It's going to have 800 volt architecture, and it's also going to have the 2-speed transmission in there. But I told you guys in this video right here that you can go watch that they basically have a mule running around and is doing testing. So that particular vehicle will come. Whether it comes next year or 2027, who knows? Not a lot of people even care about the electric vehicle and stuff, but from what it was explained to me, that they're supposed to be a pretty fast vehicle, especially with that 2-speed transmission. And I basically told you guys in that video, so you can go check that video out if you want to hear more about the SRT Banshee. I know the TK said that there were some ideas floated around that maybe they'll make a gasoline Banshee along with an EV Banshee, stuff to kind of replace the Hellcat name. Maybe that's a possibility, especially since how Dodge all of a sudden is calling everything that they make a Scat Pack, right? You got a Scat Pack Hurricane, you got a Scat Pack electric vehicle. So, I mean, it's getting really confusing on what exactly they're going to do with one name. One name is multiple cars, basically, yeah. And then one Charger is basically a 2-door and a 4-door. A Scat Pack is a 4-door Scat Pack, a 2-door Scat Pack Hurricane. Then you got a 4-door Scat Pack and a 2-door Scat Pack electric vehicle. So it's like when HEMI cars come along, will there be a HEMI powered 4-door Scat Pack and a HEMI powered 2-door Scat Pack? So are you gonna have what, basically 6 different scat packs that you can order from Dodge? It's gonna be real confusing and stuff. So TK is saying that it may make a Banshee EV and actual gas version that goes along the lines of what we've known and seen from Dodge up to this point of them do. Because we always hoping that the Hurricane Scat Packs was going to be basically an outlaw car, and the outlaw and the GT, and I think they named it Scat Pack and RT. I don't really care about those cars. I'm just saying I don't like hurricane powered cars. I'd rather have a Hemi version, so forgive me for not caring. I'm sorry, not sorry. Let's get into the number 3 on the list that TK said, the Cuda. Now, the Cuda name, I'll probably like 80% certain that name will come, especially since Dodge put the Easter egg on the wall in that Dodge Charger Daytona portal that they did earlier this year around like April. So Dodge put this out there and is kind of floating along this Cuda rumor. And I think it would be great of Dodge to not introduce the Cuda as like another trim level on the Dodge Charger, because I think the Dodge Charger, personally, in my opinion, is way too big. It's literally the exact same wheelbase as a 3-row SUV Grand Cherokee L. And I was looking up the other night, the Dodge Charger Daytona, the 6-packs, whatever, the 2-door, 4-door, it don't matter which version it is, they both got the same exact wheelbase. But that car is a 121-inch wheelbase. The actual Audi A8L, the long version, that little executive version of the Audi A8L, is 123 inches. So only 2 inches shorter is the Dodge Charger. That's how big of a car it is. It's literally the exact same wheelbase, like I said, as a Grand Cherokee, not the regular 2-row version, but the 3-row version. So that's how long this car is. So I'm hoping that, if Dodge brings the Cuda name back, that they will basically make a smaller car and put the Cuda name on that car, which I think would be a better fit for that name. Because kind of like, they have the Charger. It's kind of seems like they're trying too hard by trying to attach iconic names to this car, and not everyone is really in love with it and stuff, right? Because you got the regular Charger, 2-door, 4-door. Then you got like 6 versions of the Scat Pack. That's an iconic name. Then you're going to have Daytona. So you got a Daytona attached with RT and Scat Pack. So you got all the different names, like iconic names. You got Charger, Daytona, Scat Pack, RT, GT. Well, GT ain't out yet. What was the other name they're talking about? Well, they could put the Banshee on there. Then you got a situation where you could have the Cuda name on there. So I think it's getting really too crowded in just the Charger space. They need to introduce a smaller car. And I hope that if they introduce a smaller car, that's not like, a tiny car, but it feels like around the size of like the previous Challenger, where it had like a 116-inch wheelbase. I think that'd be a great option to make that into a Cuda, especially on to make it 2 doors. And I think that'd be a great route to go, and especially take some of the tech from the actual Chargers, like the all-wheel drive system in there, and then you push a button and it's rear-wheel drive only. I think that'd be a great option for a smaller car that's a little bit bigger than the Mustang, right around the same size as the Challenger. I think the Stella large platform can do a 113-inch wheelbase as the smallest wheelbase, and that's right around the size of a Mustang. So I think that Dodge should do the Cuda in a smaller car. I just kind of hate to see it as a trim on the Charger. And if they do bring it back as a trim on the Charger, I hope they bring it back as a 426 car. And I told you guys in the previous video, like this one right here, that they can bring the 426 back as like basically an upgrade to the 392. So hope for 392, do some changes to it, because they were doing that in the previous, about a few years ago. They were going to try to go from 392 to 426. And I think it's one great way to make an affordable 426 based off 392, and then use the Elephant for the top line level trim. So that's what I'm hoping that Dodge do with the Cuda trim. I just don't want to see it as a regular trim for the Charger unless it's like a 426 trim. Then I would be excited for that. So I'm gonna give you guys one bonus name that TK didn't really talk about and stuff, but it's something that we've talked about in a previous video, the SRT Duster. Now this name right here is book it, it's going to happen, because word around the campfire is that Duster name is going to be attached to that little sports car that Dodge is going to come out with. It's supposed to be in that $30,000 price range. So I'm hoping that what Dodge does with that little car is that they're going to try to basically be like, I wouldn't mind it being like maybe either Miata or like an old Dodge Neon sized car, and especially being only like a 2-door. Maybe they make a 4-door out of it and stuff. make it more practical and stuff. But if they make like a two-door little sports car, how Dodge has the Charger setup and stuff, hope they use some of the technology from the all-wheel drive system and spread it down to the other cars where you can have that benefit of all-wheel drive, push a button, rear-wheel drive only, and then in order to cut the cost down, certain models and certain trims and stuff, just do a rear-wheel drive only version. And I think that'd be great for that little sports car and stuff, to have something that's pretty cheap, something that's like, I don't know, Miata size, Nissan 370Z size, like something that's pretty decent sized car as a two-door, I think will work perfect for Dodge. So I know that me and TK, we've talked to people about this, and this name will come to Dodge on something smaller. We just don't know exactly it's going to be on a sports car or maybe even like a little smaller car. Like it's going to be between that sports car and like the Charger or whatever. We just don't know exactly which one's going to be, but we do know that that name is coming, and Dodge actually does have a trademark for that name, just like with the Cuda and just like with the Banshee. They have trademarks for all those names. So it's definitely possible that name, maybe a Roadrunner, Cuda, like those names are definitely possible. From what we heard, from what they might do with SRT, is reintroduce some cool Plymouth names, especially now that the handcuffs are off Dodge, because Carlos Tavares basically Dodge over and basically cut a lot of crap. But now the Tempest is back and Matt McAleer is over everything, and these two guys don't have really any handcuffs from Antonio Filoso. I'm thinking we're going to see a great time period of cars that, as I said, like TK said in his video, they're going to make this Hellcat era look like a damn joke, especially if they, you know, spread out the technology that they learned from the Charger and put the all-wheel drive system on all the cars, push a button, turn off the all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive only. I think we're going to see a great next era of cars. And I've been telling you guys in the last few videos, save your money, because there's going to be so much stuff that's going to be coming that you're not going to know what to buy. And it's better to have a ton of money on hand. That way you can buy this and buy that. You're going to be going like to a grocery store trying to figure out exactly what you want to buy and stuff. And that little sports car and stuff, I think that'd be pretty cool. And hopefully SRT will have it where, like, I mean, you buy that car, maybe it has an inline 6 or inline 4 in there, but they have it set up from the factory to where, hey, if you want to do a HEMI swap, put 392 in there, put a Hellcat in there, maybe it drop in there and fit, and then we can have Hellcat powered Miatas or 370Zs and stuff and destroy everything in that space and stuff. But maybe that's something that they would consider, but that's something that is another story for another video. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section of this video right here. Do you guys think that all these SRT names are going to be coming in the next couple of years? The Ghoul, the Cuda, the Banshee, the Duster and stuff. So let me know what you guys think, because I know I talked to a few people about that, and majority of those names we've heard from people within the company that, yeah, these names are being floated around. Will it change? Will it not change? I hope they don't change. I hope they do bring back all the Plymouth names as like cool, awesome, fast cars, especially if they put like the Cuda names, like not a Cuda name, but the Plymouth names attached to 426 HEMI cars. I think that would be dead on perfect, and hopefully we'll see something pretty cool in the next year. I think we're gonna have just this one lame duck year, and then after that, when stuff that's in the pipeline now gets validated and released and showed us as concept cars and stuff like that, I think we're gonna see an era way better than the Hellcat era. But that's just me. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. And until the next time, I am out.